Brian, for your time. I wanted to ask about your halftime. Like, what do you say after a half like that, especially when you give up a penalty on a silly little play? And then my second part is, why wasn't Nico the captain tonight?
Sure. Let me address that one first, Jada. Nico and I have had a history together. I mean, he came at the same time I did as a head coach. He's been such a great player for us, and won us some championships. He and I were having conversations about what we could do to change the team, to kind of just change what was going on, and we came to a conclusion that it might be better for Steph Fry to be the captain. It's a subtle change, but it was good, and we talked it through with Steph, and we made the decision. And then unfortunately, he comes out with his finger. And so it would have been a little awkward for, after we made the decision to change, to get it back. So JP's a worthy captain, so I thought that was okay. As far as what I said at halftime, Jada, yeah, it was a gut punch. We talked about just going out and just scoring the next goal to see what happens. And unfortunately it they scored the next goal.
Season first role.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the penalty call in principle, if you, in your opinion, thought it was a penalty or not. I also wanted to get your thoughts on Cleveland's performance as well.
I'll go with that one first. It's definitely Cleveland was, not at fault. It's a team sport. Goalkeepers, when they make mistakes, certainly everybody sees them. There were some moments there, but he performed well. And as far as the PK is concerned, it's a penalty. The referee called it. They checked it. We watch it on film. Albert does make a little bit of contact before. I mean, it was, you can't make sloppy passes inside your 18-yard box. That bad things happen.
What do you take away from today's performance moving forward in the next few weeks, and what do you focus on to be ready for the rest of the MLS season?
Well, what we're going to try and focus on is the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then learn from that little spell after, the game kind of started cooking, and what we could have done to control tempo a little bit better. Obviously, it's a little bit different because if it was a regular season game and you're up 2-0, you want to control tempo, but we still needed one more goal. So I think the team was still pressing. They felt a lot of confidence because of the way they started. So that's what we'll try and coach them through. If we get up on teams in the regular season 2-0, how do we close games out? And then what I'm proud about was, again, they didn't quit. I'm happy with the young guys, the subs that came in. I thought Reed played very well. He made a couple of bad passes, but the kid was nervous. But his understanding of that position, maybe his final pass can get better. I thought he was good. We gave Obed and Josh a run in midfield. Those two guys are fighting for minutes. When Ymar came off, we even moved Josh back, which maybe that's a longer-term position for Josh. Cody Baker, you see the energy that he brings, the toughness, the tenacity. So I was pleased with the subs that came on.
Space for a couple of questions more, so any one of you, if you want. Good.
I thought Jeffy and Albert were good. Again, they hadn't played together in a while, so it might take them a while to kind of understand the roles and how we want to play. But I thought they were good. They're experienced guys. They'll figure it out. I thought Nico was very good. I mean, I thought his energy was good. Obviously, you saw his quality. His leadership on the field sometimes now becomes just by example. And I thought you saw him playing free tonight.
Please.
Coach, I'd like to ask about Leo Chu. He was subbed with 10 minutes in the second half, and in the previous game, in the halftime, he didn't seem very happy about that. And I'd like to ask what he's not delivered that you are being asking for him.
Leo's never happy. No player is ever happy to come out of the I understand that. It's emotion. Leo has to understand that if he's going to be an attacking player on this team, he has to do all the things that he's very good at. But then he also has defensive responsibilities that he needs to understand. And so sometimes in the game at RSL, I think I just needed to make a change. The game tonight, I think he could have done a little bit more, even in the attacking part of the game. And so we wanted to change things up. The game was getting out of hand, so I moved, Snack over there, who's an experienced player who actually played there for us, the last 4 or 5 games, but, it didn't work.
Respect, final 2 questions here and here and
So you were saying before the Leagues Cup that the team will be looking to build a streak to close out the rest of the MLS season. But now with this early exit, what's the next kind of approach we'll be taking to close out the season?
Well, the next approach again is, starting the game against Atlanta on the 20th, the same way we started tonight, and making sure that when we do have teams at 2-0, that we're able to close out games and collect points. We need to collect points when we're at home if we wanna, have a chance at, building some momentum into the playoffs.
Is it the mid-block and the back line, is that where, or?
I think you run into problems sometimes, Maz. They were a very good transition team. Every time their goalkeeper got the ball, they were going in transition, and we have to keep up. I mean, we can have attacking players, and that's great, but, you gotta chase back as well. And I think they opened up the game a little bit with their speed and how they wanted to play. And we needed to recover, get everybody goal side, get organized, and then start our pressure. And in some of those moments, that didn't happen.
final.
Do you give the players some time off, or how do you approach these 20 days before you play
Yeah,
again?
it's gonna be a challenge because they're not gonna be pleased, just training. We'll try and find a game here or there against an opponent. We will give them some time off, mental break, physical break, a little bit. We'll work on that schedule here, Jada, when I get back to the coach's office.